Hi, hope your day or evening is going well so far. For today's flow, we'll do the entire flow on the ground, so floor flow for the day. So as you find a seat or place to begin, you can allow the legs to cross or place the bottom on a pillow, blanket, whatever's most comfortable. Try to allow the hands just to relax in the lap, wherever they rest. And on the next inhale, try to sit a bit taller, lifting the crown or top of head up to the ceiling, allowing the chin to point just slightly down, and taking a few breaths. Allowing the inhales to begin at the belly or bottoms of lungs. So as you inhale, the belly will rise. The air comes from the bottom of the lungs, filling to the top of lungs and upper chest. And on exhale, the air slowly releases. The belly comes back to the spine, pressing the air out through the nose. Breathing in and out through the nose only. Feeling free to add a little constriction to the back of the throat, pulling the tongue down and back to follow an Ujjayi breath. That constriction in the back of the throat will create a lock in the throat to help generate some extra heat in the body. Also helps to focus on the breathing. So take 5 breaths in and out, keeping the breath even. So the inhales equal the length of the exhales. You can keep the eyes open or closed to remain with a nice tall spine. Excellent. As you complete your next breath, go ahead and keep a nice tall spine, bringing the palms into heart center, making sure that the shoulders are stacked over the hips. And just acknowledging whatever brought you to this space today. On your inhale, send both arms up to the ceiling. Look up, gaze up, separate the arms, bring the shoulder blades down into the spine. And then go ahead and rotate, dropping the right arm over to the back of the body, left hand to right or left knee. On the inhale, lengthen the arms back up to the ceiling or sky. Shoulder blades come down into the back. And exhale, rotating to the left. Left hand comes behind the back. Right hand can come to either knee. Twisting or rotating from the belly up. And as you unwind, inhale back up, the arms to the center, gaze up, and exhale, send palms into the heart. From here, you'll plant the right hand to the right side of body. Inhale the left arm skyward. And exhale, left hand to the ground, left hand roots. Inhale, right arm skyward. And send that hand back to the ground. From here, you're going to bring the hands to the top of the mat. Find yourself in a tabletop position. So the knees are going to be directly under the hips, the wrists under the shoulders. And we'll move slowly through a flow. So I'm on carpet here, so if your knees need some extra cushion, feel free to double your mat or find a blanket or something to support the knees if it bothers you to be on the knees. From here, the belly's going to dip down, the head and hips rise. That follows the inhale as you gaze up, expanding the chest. Exhale as the back rounds, chin comes towards chest. Inhaling again as you lift, gaze up, tailbone high, and exhale to round the back, open space between shoulder blades. So you can move a few times that way, warming up the spine in the cat-cow sequence. Try if you can to allow the movement to follow the breath. Take a few more. On your next inhale, keep the knees underneath the hips. Bring both arms up towards the ceiling. Gaze up. And exhale. Bring the hands in front and the bottom to the heels as you come to child's pose, relaxing the head. Inhale up to tabletop position. Cow tilt. Head and hips lift. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, rise up again from that kneeling position, sending arms up, lengthening. Exhale, child's pose, bottom to heels. Take one more breath in and out. On the inhale, come back up to hands and knees, cow tilt, head and hips rise. Exhale, back rounds. Inhale, rise up, kneeling position, arms lift. And exhale, child's pose. One more full breath here. Inhale up again to cow tilt. This time lift the right leg up towards the ceiling, bending the knee. Exhale, round, knee into nose. Inhale, lift the right foot. And exhale, round in. Bring it back to kneeling position. Inhale all the way up, arms lift. Exhale, child's pose. One extra breath. Next, inhale back up to tabletop position. Cow tilt, lifting left knee up. Exhale, round the back, knee to nose. Inhale up. Exhale, round the back, knee to nose. Releasing back to kneeling position. Both arms lift on inhale. And exhale, some palms to heart. So from that kneeling position, again, if you need to place something under the mat, under your mat, or roll the mat back, you can double it back should you need extra support for the knees. So from there, keep in the kneeling position and allow the tops of feet to be released to the ground. You're going to slowly sit back or walk back. If it's comfortable for you to sit on the heels, that's fine if there's not too much compression in the knees. Otherwise, you can walk directly back, just placing the hands behind you. You can bring the knuckles to the ground, or you can keep the hands to the ground as well. So as you walk back, either sitting on the heels or walking the hands back, you're going to find any amount of a back bend that's comfortable here. So it could be nice and small. You can find a much deeper back bend if you practice regularly and would like to come into a full camel. If your back feels comfortable, you can, but there is no need or one. Allowing the shoulder blades to draw into the spine, the chest to remain lifted, just a neutral neck, gazing up. One more full breath. And then slowly lower back down to the bottom. Reach the hands back out in front of you towards child's pose. Take one or two full breaths. From here, you'll inhale up to a tabletop position, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And then you're going to send that right leg up once more towards the ceiling. Cow tilt with knee lifted. And exhale, bring it into the nose. Again, lift on inhale. Exhale, bring knee to nose and slide that right foot through to the top of the mat. Right foot's between both hands. And then you're going to allow that right foot to walk forward enough so the left hip finds a nice stretch in front of it. You can support with the hands, with the knuckles, with the fingertips. Excuse me, whatever allows a nice stretch in the front left hip. And you'll allow the right toes to face forward. Try to relax the glutes. Just go ahead and walk those hands back, bringing a flex to that front foot. Maybe lift up to the fingertips. Inhale, take a full breath, lengthen. And exhale as you bend to fold over that front leg, however much or little is comfortable. Bend the right knee, bring the hands back to the top, curl the back toes under, find your way to plank position, shoulders are still over the wrists. Shift the heels forward so shoulders do come over the wrists, and hold here. You're still pressing the heels away from the head, building a bit of warmth, strengthening the inner core muscles. Never about the abs, it's about the inner core strength. Three more breaths. Keep the fingertips spread wide. And then drop the knees back down. Come to that tabletop position. Belly comes down. Head and hips lift. Left leg rises. Exhale, knee into nose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee to nose. Swing that left foot through to the top. Again, both hands, knuckles, fingertips support. And that right hip now is finding a nice stretch in the front. So you can allow the hips to come forward as much as is comfortable. Find a steady breath. Notice the rib cage expand on the inhale. And then walk the hands back, straighten that front left leg, bring a flex to the foot. Again, you might lift a little, lengthening torso, spine, and on the exhale, fold forward. Try to keep that left hip pulled back so both hips are squared or facing the top of the mat. On the inhale, bend the knee, bring the hands to the top, step back to plank as you curl right toes under. Again, spread the fingertips wide. Shift the heels forward so shoulders are over the wrists. Make sure the back isn't dipping down here. You really want to keep it lifted. Keep the heels pressed away from the head. If you like, lift one leg. If one leg's lifted, lower it, raise the opposite leg. And then lower the foot back down, press back to downward facing dog. So you want to make sure that the hands are receiving nice even pressure throughout both hands, throughout all 10 fingertips. Fingertips are spread wide. Tailbone is nice and high. You're pressing the hips back away from the hands. So my heels touch the ground. Yours do not have to. You can keep as much or little of a bend in the knees as you like, so long as the arms remain nice and long with the spine. And make sure the head is relaxed between the arms, the shoulders are relaxed from the ears. On the inhale, send the right leg skyward. Exhale, pulse right knee into chest. 4 more times on your own. Inhaling as you lengthen. Exhale, pulse in. 3 more. Back to downward facing dog. Lift the left leg on inhale. Pulse in and exhale. 4 more. And back to downward facing dog. From here, drop back down to the knees, untuck the toes, make sure tops of feet are to the ground or mat. You can walk the knees forward a little bit. From here, if it's comfortable, you can sit the bottom onto the heels. Otherwise, you can create some space between the bottom and the heels as you bring the body back. And from here, you're going to bring a stretch to the tops of feet. So keeping supported with the hands and the toes to the ground, you're going to lean back, lifting the knees off the ground or mat. Bringing a stretch to the tops of feet. And then you're going to come back up towards the kneeling position, curling the toes under, sitting on the feet or heels, bringing a stretch to the back of the feet. While you're here, bring the right hand out to the side or right fingertips toward the ground. Inhale, left arm skyward. Just keep a neutral gaze ahead. release left hand to the ground. Inhale, right arm. And lean it over. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, reach. And you'll bring that right hand back to the ground. Again, untuck the toes, tops of feet come to the ground. Just walk the hands back, bringing the knees off the mat to stretch the tops of feet, shins. And then come back, curl the toes under. Bring one more stretch to the feet, maybe even just a stretch to the wrists so you can bring the palms together. Bringing a stretch opposite directions, bringing some circles to the wrists. Maybe circles to the arms. And then you're going to allow the legs to cross, come into a seated position. Allow the bottom to relax, sliding the skin up and away from the sit bones to create a nice tall spine. And sending both arms out to a T here. So just going to bring both hands facing up so that you're pressing away with each palm. Go ahead and just keep the right arm extended and gently bring the left hand over to the right ear and just bring a gentle stretch to the neck, bringing the left ear toward the left shoulder, still pressing through the right arm. Go ahead and release that left hand back, extending through the palm, and bring the right hand to the left ear, lowering right ear to the right shoulder. And then releasing both arms back to the T. Wrap the right arm underneath the left arm. Here you're going to come in towards an eagle pose. So the right arm wraps underneath the left. You can find as much or little of a bind as is comfortable. So if you have really large biceps or a much larger chest than I, you can adjust however is needed. So you bring the right arm underneath the left as much as is comfortable. The elbows are going to extend away from the body and the hands are going to lift up. So this opens the space between the shoulder blades behind the back. Pressing the forearms together as much as you can. And then you're just going to send the elbows over towards the right knee, so twisting a little bit, bringing an extra stretch to the front arm, front of your left arm. And then go ahead and bring the elbows to the opposite knee, bringing a stretch to the front shoulder. And then release the bind here, just make a few circles with the shoulders. And then switch sides, left arm under right. Sorry, I'm not mirroring you correctly today. Allowing the elbows to extend away from the body and hands to lift skyward. Again, bringing that opening behind the back between shoulder blades. And then again, you'll turn or twist to the right. Elbows toward the right knee. Don't worry if you're facing opposite direction. And then again, elbows over the opposite knee. And come back to the center, release the arms, make a few circles. And then uncross the legs, bringing the feet out in front of you to boat pose. You have a few options, so keeping the sit bones rooted to the ground, and legs can extend, knees bent. Hands can come underneath the thighs or knees. You can stay here, you can lean back, allow the arms to remain straight. You can extend the legs as much as you like, and or release the arms as well. You want to make sure the low back stays firm and that you're not rounding here, that the chest stays nice and lifted. 5 more breaths. and then release the feet to the ground. Releasing both legs completely. Bring a tiny little wiggle here. Keeping the legs fully connected to the ground or mat. Send the hands up on inhale. Extend hands away from you. Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Legs stay completely connected to the ground or mat. Hands can come as far as you like. Maybe this is as far as you make it. You can release the hands here, the shins, ankles, feet. If you're really flexible and have more space, you can always wrap the hands around the bottoms of the feet. Wherever you have a grip or hold, lift up on inhale, lengthen the torso, and exhale as you fold. Release the kneecaps, relaxing the quadriceps. You'll keep the feet flexed or pointed up here so that you're maintaining nice length under the hamstrings. And although you're gripping wherever that is, make sure that the shoulders aren't rounding forward or cinching up to the ears. Just keep them relaxed. Find 5 full breaths. As you inhale, come back up to that boat pose. Any variation. 5 breaths. From here, cross the right leg over the left and bring both feet to the ground. So with the legs crossed, only as much as is comfortable. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, twist to your right. Right hand supports behind the back, lifting from the belly up, twisting from belly up. Gaze over the right shoulder. Keep the chest, collarbones wide. Inhale, arms up again. Exhale, hands to the heart. See if you can keep the hands to the heart as you again unwind to boat pose. So we're using core strength to maintain stability. And then releasing arms if you like. 4 more breaths. And this time we cross the left leg over the right. Bring the feet to any amount of a cross-legged sort of seat here, feet out to the sides. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twisting to the left. Again, on the inhale, you'll unwind. Bring the hands to the heart or to the heart center here. Press into both palms. Engage the core, pulling the belly in towards the spine as you open to boat pose, Navasana. And this time, cross the legs, plant the hands, step or hop back to a plank position. Exhale, high to low, all the way down to the ground, belly. Relax one cheek or ear to the mat. Relax the arms to the sides. Take a deep breath in, fill the belly, lungs, chest. Exhale, release through the mouth. One more. So from here, keep the tops of toes to the ground, palms facing down. And you're going to lift the chest up off the ground, engaging the core, bringing the shoulders up and back toward the spine or towards your toes. If you feel no compression in low back here, feel free to lift your hands off the ground, keeping arms parallel to the ground, keeping your gaze ahead. And if there's still no compression in the low back, feel free to lift the legs at the same time. So we're really lengthening head to toe here, maintaining full breath. And then relax, bring the opposite cheek or ear to the ground. Inhale, full breath. Exhale, let go. Inhale, full breath. On your inhale, bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Bring the elbows close into the rib cage. Lift up to a low cobra. And curl the toes under. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Belly draws in and up toward the spine. Hands press away from the, or hips press away from the hands. From here on the inhale, you're going to lift right leg skyward. Bend the right knee. Open the right hip. Now as you do that, you'll notice the left shoulder dip down. Try to keep both shoulders level to the ground. Inhale, lengthen the right leg. Exhale, pulse right knee into chest. Again, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pulse knee to nose. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend and open. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pulse in. Hold the knee into the nose here. And then release right foot to the ground. Or knee to the ground and foot to the ground toward your pigeon pose. So here you want to make sure that you curl the back left toes under. Lift the left knee, shimmy the left foot back, then set the knee down. Untuck the toes to relax. Here you want to make sure that the right butt is not sitting on the ground, the right butt cheek. You want to keep some space so the hips are nice and level. It might take a few moments to settle into a place that's comfortable, although you shouldn't be super comfortable. You should definitely feel a stretch, maybe some tension in some areas, whether that's under the hamstring here or in the front left hip. Some of you might be more than comfortable sitting here and might be able to bring your elbows down to the ground. Some of you might even relax the hands out to the sides or in front of you, whichever's most comfortable, and wherever your hips stay level. Find a place to hold and breathe. 5 full breaths. Again, you'll lift the hands back up. And then from here, keep the hands nice and firm. Curl the back toes under. Press back to a plank position. Press the heels away from the head. Shoulders over the wrists. Lift the right leg off the ground. Lower the right foot. Lift the left leg. Bring both feet back to the ground. Press back to downward facing dog. Send that right leg up to the ceiling or sky. Open up the hip. You can make circles with the right leg, knee, hip, or remain just still with the hip open. Release back to downward facing dog. Lift the left leg on inhale. Bend the left knee. Exhale, open the hip. Make sure the right shoulder doesn't dip all the way down. Keep the shoulders level. Inhale, lengthen, straighten the left leg. Exhale, pulse knee to nose. Inhale, extend the leg. Exhale, bend and open. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pulse. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend and open. Inhale. Exhale, pulse. One more, inhale. Exhale, bend, open. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pulse in. Hold it here. And then release the left knee, foot to the ground. Again, you'll make sure that you shimmy that right foot as far back as is comfortable to bring a nice deep stretch to the front right hip. Set the knee down, untuck the toes. Make sure that you're not rocking to the left or right. Hips remain level. So you're not balancing too much to one hip or the other, just keeping them nice and even. You should notice a difference between both of your sides. One is more open than the other, or one butt cheek would come further or closer to the ground, rather. Again, if you're comfortable with the hands lifted, you can always come down to the forearms, release, relax however is needed for 5 full breaths. Make sure the muscles in the face stay relaxed. You come back up on inhale, bring the shoulders back over the wrists or wrists under the shoulders, curl the back toes under, press back to plank pose, heels come away from the head, strengthening the core, back muscles, lifting right leg if you can, without allowing the back to sink down. Lower the right leg, lift the left. Lower the left, exhale back, downward dog. Feel free to lift that left leg once more, bending the knee, opening the hip, making circles or just remaining still. And release back to downward dog. From here you're going to bend the knees, come to a tabletop position. Just cross the ankles behind and find your way to a seat. Extending the legs out in front of you once more. From here, you're going to allow the sit bones to remain connected to the ground. Just bring the arms out in front of you. Pull the belly into the spine. Keep the core nice and firm, and very, as slow as you can, lower down to the ground. Just taking it 1 centimeter at a time. Slower if you can. To make it all the way down to the ground. And then pull the knees in toward the chest. Once you make it there, wrap the hands around the shins, find a sway side to side. Here, see if you can pull the hands and pull the feet with hands towards you, bringing soles of feet to the ground and opening the knees wide. So kind of like a reclining Baddha Konasana, or that butterfly pose where the hands grab the feet and you're opening the knees wide, bringing a nice deep stretch to the inner thigh, hips and groin. You can use your elbows to press the legs, knees open, while you're still pulling the feet towards the groin. From here, you'll keep the back to the ground, lift the legs to the ceiling, and just make a few circles with the ankles, both directions. And then from here, release the feet to the ground. And just separate the feet apart, drawing the knees in towards each other. Allowing the arms to relax out to your sides, just relaxing the arms to a T. Closing the eyes. Go ahead and pull the knees back into the chest and allow the knees to come over to the right side of the body, keeping the knees bent. Or you can also straighten both legs out to so the legs are perpendicular. And you'll turn the gaze opposite direction. Gaze towards the left, legs towards the right. As you unwind, bring the knees back to the chest or towards the chest and find that opposite twist. Knees can remain bent or legs can extend straight. top leg straight or both legs perpendicular. And turn the gaze to the right. Relax the face. The whole body is relaxed here. You're allowing gravity to do the work. Pull the knees back into the chest. Wrap the hands around the shins. Give yourself a hug. Release the legs to the end of the mat. Send the arms overhead on inhale. And then go ahead and create an interlace with all 10 fingers. Press the palms away from the body, taking a full body stretch. Go ahead and just lift the upper body a little bit over so you can lean to the right side, bringing extra length to the left side. Inhale back to the center, lengthen, palms away from the body, toes stretch. Exhale over to the left, just lifting the shoulder off the ground, coming to the left so you can stretch the right side of body. Come back to the center and bring the palms to the heart. Allow the thumbs to relax or rest on the heart or breastbone, sternum. Keeping the hands here, or releasing hands to the ground, turning the palms to face down to feel centered, grounded, or relaxed. You allow the legs to separate, allowing the ankles to roll open, the chest to remain nice and open. You can always tuck the shoulder blades under a little bit to expand the chest further. Allowing the air to enter and exit in its own natural pace or flow on its own. So all throughout your movement, you're being really attentive to the way your body's moving, to the breath, that the breath matches the movement, to the way the body feels during your practice and now. You're just allowing a few moments to relax, allowing the body and mind, if possible, just to be receptive to however the next few moments unfold. Lengthening the breath, you'll take another deep inhale, allowing the belly to rise. On the exhale, the belly to fall. Slowly bring the knees back toward the chest, just to give yourself one more hug. Maybe bring the tiniest smile to your face. And slowly find your way up to a seat. Nice cross-legged seat if you can. Making sure the spine remains tall, of course. Keeping the hands relaxed in the lap. Sending the arms up on inhale when you're ready. Finding lots of length. And then releasing the palms toward the ground and exhale the air throughout the mouth, lowering the hands to the knees. Grounding the energy. Inhale to lengthen, fill, and ground. One more inhale. Exhale, ground. Bring the palms to heart center, bow the head to the hands. Acknowledging your practice. Thank you for joining me. Namaste. Today's practice was for Daria. If you would ever like a practice created just for you, please let me know and I'm happy to do so. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.